Hey, what's up, everybody? I just want to come on here and talk about NASCAR San Diego weekend that happened about a week ago this past weekend. I wanted to come up on here and make this video earlier, but some things came up. But you know what? I actually thought it was really cool. I wasn't sure at first, knowing that this is NASCAR and these are 200-mile-an-hour cars and this is a street race. But it being on Coronado Island at the Naval Base, I thought it was really cool. It really felt like a celebration of San Diego. It reminded me of UFC 250, just how that was a celebration of America. This felt like a celebration of San Diego. And yeah, being a casual NASCAR fan, it really felt like a big win for San Diego. Maybe this will become an annual tradition. I really like how it was celebrated in the Navy, everything. It was actually pretty cool. And every event has that one media personality who somehow ends up having the most awkward interviews. And this weekend, it was our good old friend Cappy, Scott Kaplan. And you almost see the second the Qualcomm employee realizes this question is going, like, they're media trained. I feel like, why would they try to get political, especially when Kaplan, he should have saved that question for the end of the interview. So when Scott shoots his shot and they give him absolutely nothing, it's so funny. And he's trying to get that clip, trying to get that hot take.
The spot. Okay, just be prepared. Here goes. Hear me out. So this past week, NBA Finals, President of the United States is in the house. We're talking about celebrating America's 250th anniversary. This is the first time anybody's ever tried anything like this before, where you're going to put a sporting event onto the base of the Navy here in San Diego. He's got a UFC fight happening at the White House this upcoming weekend. Don, Amy, I'm putting you guys on the spot. Is there a chance that the president might actually come to this race?
We have many dignitaries coming, and we're so excited to host all of them and show them what we've been working on with the Navy. But the thing I'm most excited about are the 34,000 people who live and work on North Island every single day, the sailors, the enlisted folks, the junior officers, who will all be in their whites. Friday is Navy Community Day. We're going to kick off the weekend in the right way, celebrating the Navy, which we will do all weekend. But on Friday, we're going to turn it up, and that's the day for our celebration of the Navy.
All right. Listen.
So yeah. Oh, and Bubba Wallace also had a really funny interview over the weekend. He's talking about not getting booed in San Diego, and I just thought that was funny. Kind of the way he was talking about it too. I thought he drove pretty well too. Actually, he was towards the end of that race, and the finish of that race was just crazy too. Yeah. I mean, just with a few laps to go in Coronado, Tyler Reddick and Corey Heim, who were teammates, and they're part of Joe Gibbs and Michael Jordan's garage, 2311. They were going at it door to door for the lead, on a tight street circuit. Bubba Wallace is also part of that garage too. But then it all falls apart for Tyler Reddick. I don't know what happened with mechanical issue, his tire wear and tear. It ended up really costing him all the way back to 25th, completely out of the fight, cost him the whole race. And just like that, Corey Heim out in the, clean air, no pressure, able to win the race and, win San Diego's first inaugural street race. Yeah, Drew Brees, he was a special guest, and how he gave like an ambassador vibes. And, when you have legends like Drew Brees showing up to a NASCAR race in San Diego, that tells you actually how big it was, It felt big. And it was cool he was talking about the Chargers and how he was even talking about the San Diego Chargers and reminiscing on the Marty Schottenheimer era, and that tells you when you got Drew Brees in the mix, this wasn't just a race; it was a full-on San Diego sports moment.
Are no longer here, certainly for me too. I can't call them the LA Chargers; they're the San Diego Chargers. But I think any time that we can bring a spectacle like this, that has such a massive fan base, to a venue like this, that, this is the first time ever to be able to do something like this, obviously as a way to also, honor, our country. I think this is really exciting. Back to my time with the San Diego Chargers, it was just such a formative set of 5 years for me, in large part because of some of the people in the organization that just had such a profound impact. Marty Schottenheimer, old coach Marty Schottenheimer, was so impactful for me as a leader. It wasn't easy during some of those years. I went through some struggles early in my career here. Was benched 3 times back in 2003 by him. But it actually drew us closer together. I think it helped, I think, form a lot of the kind of the habits and routine and mindset that I developed as a player and leadership habits. Having a chance to play with guys like Junior Seau and Rodney Harrison and LaDainian Tomlinson and Lorenzo Neal and Antonio Gates, and I mean the list goes on and on. The guys that I learn from each and every day. So I don't know. Can't really say there was a moment, but those 5 years were really formative for me as a player.
Drivers, start your engines.
Yeah, even Tony Jefferson showed up to the mix, which is cool. And then you got and Travis Kelce even showed up. Even he pulled up. It feels like he's been pulling up to anything. So he's been pulled up to that Cavs game. He's been pulled up to a lot of stuff. But it was cool even he pulled up. It made it feel pretty big too. So yeah, it was dope. San Diego really showed up. The fans showed up. And whether you're a NASCAR fan or not, it felt like a major sports weekend for the city.
Plug in. Superchargers Podcast. All platforms.